So, yeah, when you asked me to go to homecoming, I definitely didn't want to repeat that because I felt bad for him that year.
Sure.
But I was definitely, what's the word I'm looking? I was anxious.
I'm pretty sure this is episode 5. I'm pretty sure. 1 birthday, 3 Blota, 4 Samson, 5th today. So this is episode 5. We're like halfway to 10. That is so cool. That is so weird and exciting. You know, as I always do, welcome back to the Realest Podcast. The banner's right there. It's just like a tradition at this point that we, come on, say what episode it is, banner. It feels kind of cliche. It might get redundant. We're going to definitely hyping it up here real soon. But episode 5 today, I'm like so excited because today's guest is somebody that I've known since 2017. It's a while back. Like, oh my gosh. I saw this photo that I posted in 2018. I think it might have been actually 2016 that we met. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's even further. Yeah. Wow. Oh my gosh, change the script at all. Oh my gosh, I got to change this. You'll understand here in a second, but 2016, that seems about right. 2015, we went to high school, graduated freshman year in 2016, then got to go, 2016, that's 5 years ago. That's so weird because on my Instagram, somebody commented on a photo of my senior photo, that is, from 2018. And my hair was short. I had this this was my YouTube profile photo for a long time. It was me and my camera. And I had super short hair. I mean, I guess I still have, no, I don't. I don't have short hair. It's pretty long. It's up today. Last episode, we had it down. And let me tell you, it was a hot day. My face was like sweating from the seams. You know, like Johnny in that one movie. I don't remember what movie it is. Child's Play or something. When he busts through the door and his face is like smushed. It was like that, but my hair was smushing me, so it was really weird. Anyways, our lovely guest today, was my homecoming date in 2016, not 17. Some say she is a daughter of a pop singer. She's here all the way from Hawaii. Give a big round of applause to Riana Loughlin. I'm the only one clapping, but I hope you're clapping at home too. That's just how it goes. Rihanna, are you the daughter of a pop singer?
No, and I cannot sing, so don't ask.
That's okay. I only asked just because, like, my sister, she's like, "Oh, you have Rihanna on?" Like the artist, and I was like, "Not necessarily."
Right.
Like, I mean, it's just her name, and it's not even spelled the same way.
No, not at all. It's much more simple.
Yeah, it's Riana.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just about as simple as you can get.
Yeah.
You can't even mistake that.
You'd be surprised.
What do people say instead of Rihanna?
Rihanna.
Okay.
Rihanna.
Oh. They're in the same phonetic range, you know, but like.
Yeah, but I don't know why, unless you add the H or an extra N, you just can't get it.
Yeah.
Right, I guess.
I guess maybe if it is more complicated, it seems like you would narrow it down. I don't know. Yeah, because it's like Anna and Anna. Like people like get that double N weird, or if there's like an A that like fits. I don't know. Like Anna and Anna, like people are like, my name's Anna.
Yeah, I know.
And then my name's Anna. I'm like, but it's spelled with 2 N's as well. So I'm like, what do you want me to call you?
Yeah,
like, what do you want me to call you? Like,
introduce yourself properly.
Yes. And I've learned throughout my days to just let people tell me.
You.
Yeah, you know, instead of me being like, oh, hey Rihanna, but I already know.
Right.
You know, because we've already met.
Right.
You know, so yeah, it's weird. So I guess no pop singer lineage, you know.
No, not at all.
That's unfortunate. Was that like? Did you grow up listening to Rihanna at all by chance?
I never really like looked up to her or anything, but
Sure.
I definitely liked. I think we all liked her songs. Growing up.
Yeah.
At least one of them, but surprisingly, I wasn't even named after her.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. We'll definitely get into like kind of like where you're from. So you're back home in Spokane. Well, I guess not even home. That's not even like your proper home. Because where you're from.
Hawaii.
Okay. And what island?
Oahu.
Okay. Is that considered the Big Island or no?
No.
Okay.
But it's where the capital is.
Gotcha. Yeah. Is it technically the largest island, or is another name that?
No.
Okay.
So the island of Hawaii.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I just said it like that because the news always says it like
Yeah.
that.
Because that's like proper how you say it.
It
like
is,
that.
yeah. But a lot of people don't really call it that, and I don't really care how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
But Hawaii is, or what like islanders call it, the Big Island.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one, and it's actually still getting bigger because the volcanoes are so active.
Yeah, and they just keep adding like mass to it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So you're from Oahu.
Mm-hmm.
What part? North Shore, the village down like by Diamond Crater, the volcano. Diamond Head.
Yeah.
That's it.
I actually live I'm sorry. I'm from a town called Mililani, and it's about 25 minutes, give or take, from North Shore.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Did you go watch any of the surf competitions up there?
Okay, well, I would like to.
Yeah.
But I can't really go in the sun too much. It's really unfortunate living in Hawaii.
Yeah.
You can't go in the sun, but
yeah, for sure. Because I was there Christmas I was in 6th grade, so give or take like 2012, 2011. I think it might have been that turn. Yes, it was 2012 because I remember it was like, oh my God, the world, December 21st, 2012, it's going to blow up. So I remember it because of that. And we went to Oahu. We stayed down in the village down on the south side of the island.
Is it Hawaii Kai?
It's basically, I don't exactly know the name. It's just basically where all the tourist hotels are.
Waikiki.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it. Yes. And we went for the New Year's, or I think it might have been a Christmas fireworks show. We went to Diamond Head not too long once we got there. We went up to North Shore. Me and my Aunt Sarah, me and my grandma.
How was that for you?
It was good. It was so weird because it's like I never really seen surfing that extreme.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my God, like these people go under and I'm like, I'm going to die.
Right.
Like,
Did you go to Pipeline?
Yeah. Is Pipeline another place where you surf?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No. But I did go to the Pineapple
Plantation.
Yes. That was awesome.
Really?
That maze, me and my dad were running through it. I was like, Dad, I got it. And we're going through. It was amazing. I love that maze there. And I didn't try out as much pineapple as I would have loved to because I was doing the maze.
It's really sweet. It's really good.
Yeah. I mean, pineapple is generally good like here.
Yeah.
I could imagine what it's like when it's not like a few days of travel.
And
shipping and all that good stuff. But it was a lovely, lovely experience. I would love to go back whenever.
You could always come visit me.
Yes. I would love to when you're obviously back home.
Right.
And you're, where you're from. Because you're up here in Spokane for your brother's graduation and for the summer?
No. Actually, I'm going to be here doing online school.
Okay.
Because all my classes are online anyways.
Yeah.
Especially with COVID.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to do the entire semester here.
Wow.
Because my classes don't require my physical presence.
Oh, okay. Which is kind of nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to be here for the entire semester.
Which is, when does it end?
In December.
Wow. And then you basically, probably even longer than that. Yeah. Because you have the winter break.
Yeah.
And then hopefully by next semester you go back in person.
Yes.
Okay, good. And what are you studying?
I am studying psychology.
Okay.
But I hope to then, when I get my master's, study behavior.
Okay, nice. That's pretty cool because I remember when we met in high school and the only class that we had was AP biology, I'm pretty sure. And that's where we met. Mm-hmm. I remember you wanted to be a lawyer. That was law was what you wanted to study. You want to become a lawyer.
Right.
And when did that go off into a different trajectory?
I wanted to be in family court for the longest time because of just family reasons, personal reasons.
Yeah.
But I realized as I got older that I'm not as aggressive. I'm not so feisty. I don't really like to argue.
Yeah.
I'm not confrontational. I don't even really like public speaking. So yeah,
this is even like a stretch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was like, I think that would be too much out of my comfort zone, and that's just not something I would succeed in.
Yeah, because I remember like the little feisty Rihanna back in sophomore year, 2016.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
No.
It definitely mellowed out a bit more. Good. I mean, it's not like a bad thing.
No,
but it's
not
like
at all.
It's good that you found like a good rhythm with yourself, Because for me, like I've never been really confrontational. you know, and I've never, I like to think that I'm not like threatening to anybody when I walk into a room.
Not at all.
And so I guess like for me, it's always kind of been that way and nothing's really changed. It's more like those levels have just kind of heightened, like, you know, and I've definitely found like a groove pretty early on and then kind of stuck with something that I was like, you know, it's just kind of me, you know.
You've been the same Jared since I've met you, but that's a good thing. Yeah. It's a really good thing.
Thank you. And it's just like, I don't know, like I've always just been trying to be me, you know, like, and if anything or anybody, like more or less anybody than anything has just tried to either alter that or like change that. I'm just like, nah, just like
it's good to know yourself, especially earlier on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, typically a lot of people, they find out certain things about themselves through different relationships or different circumstances in life. But for you to have figured out yourself early on, I think that'll really help you in the future.
Well, thank you. And I'm hoping that the future is bright, you know, I'm always telling myself that it is. And
it will be.
And that this is going to be like a big thing. And we're going to move out of the spare room that we work in as of right now.
I think it looks great.
I think it looks great, but I would love a studio.
Oh, of course.
You know, that's like a dream, you know, like a nice studio. I mean, this is like basically like a studio, but it's like an at-home studio.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
You absolutely do. Absolutely do. And it's just like I want to make content that people can indulge themselves and is digestible, you know. I learned that word from Samson, who was a guest in episode 4.
Digestible.
Yeah. I was like, I saw this Instagram, like little poll. And I was like, who is something, it was like either Kendrick Lamar or Drake. And I'm like, oh, that's like tough. But like Drake's been dropping for the past 4 years, and Kendrick has not dropped in like 4 years. And he's like,
what was it? Humble.
Yeah. Like that was like his last, like his studio album.
That was the year that we met, I think.
Yeah. I think it's going on 5 years at this point. And he's like, you know, I respect to Kendrick because he's an amazing lyricist, but Samson's like, I think Drake's just more digestible for the masses, you know, his
and you're
songs
like,
are pop.
ooh, what a word.
I was like, oh, I like that word. I'm going to use it. And then now I just used it. So
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I always like I always like picking up on like what other people know that I don't.
Expand your vocabulary.
Yeah. And Samson, oh my God, when we were on the podcast together, his vocabulary, I'm like trying to like analyze like what he's saying.
I know. It
takes
takes a second.
Yeah. I was like, there was a few moments where I was more lost in what he was saying than what he was actually saying overall. And I was like, oh my God, that's a great word.
Yeah.
And he used the word digestible. And I was like, I'm using that. So how long did you live in Hawaii?
This last time or before I moved?
Before you moved.
I was 11 years old when we moved here.
Okay, nice. Because I know you moved from Hawaii. Did you bounce around? Did you come to Spokane straight away?
Yes.
Okay, and you moved and you lived over in the West Valley District. Am I wrong?
Yes.
Okay, and then now you live basically where you live now?
Yes.
Okay, which is nice because I remember on that road, I'm not going to mention the road.
Yeah.
But I remember on that road there was like nothing there. Like forever because I've lived here and then I have all those new houses like a little court like road.
Yeah.
And it's just like a little end road. And so I remember when they built those houses, I was like, "Oh my God, like we're going to get new people." And then you came and your brother because he just graduated.
He did, yeah.
That's like a weird feeling just because like we've already graduated.
Yeah,
you know?
I know. It was surreal to go back and it brought back a lot of memories.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, I mean, I say it brought back a lot of memories, but I honestly think that I don't remember a lot of them. Like, I don't know. What do you remember from graduation day?
Oh my. I remember, so I'm going to tag team it with the Monday spiel. Like the Friday is like the day that we don't come, turn in our laptops, have like a spiel, and then run through everything and we're free for the day.
Right.
And then Monday is we come back to the school and then we run down. Rehearse a little. Yeah.
In town.
Yes, we go to True Legends and then go downtown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I don't remember because I missed out on a lot of it.
Yeah.
I didn't even go to the senior overnighter.
Oh, all-nighter.
I didn't go to the breakfast.
You just you went to where you had to be.
Yeah, I was actually helping Hunter that weekend a lot. So we were pretty busy and I just missed out on a lot of things. I think that's why I don't really remember everything. I was stressed.
Yeah, yeah, and especially with Hunter, you know, he just got deployed again. My water just fell, but that's okay.
That's all right.
Yeah, I remember he's obviously like in the military and he's doing his thing. He just got deployed,
right?
Which is super duper awesome. And Hunter was one of the first people that kind of not really got me into the YouTube scene, but like was somebody who, like, I guess kind of like we had like a little competition together. You
really?
know?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he had a YouTube channel back in middle school. He called it Hungry Hype.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
that's
so
hilarious.
I always call him Hungry Hype on a it was like, oh, Hungry Hype's going to the military.
I'm gonna tell him that next time I talk to him.
Yeah, it's like hungry like you're hungry, and then hype like it's hype.
Right.
And so I always call him that when I swipe up on his Snapchat story, and I'm like, oh, Hungry Hype's he's going to Georgia, you know, and yeah. So he did a lot more like Battlefield, Call of Duty stuff, like
the gaming.
Yeah,
scene.
yeah. I did gaming as well, but mine was like in
that.
Minecraft, you know.
Right.
And then I kind of dabbled around with a lot of things, and I was like, I really like gaming, but I'm like, I don't really know what to do all the time, and a lot of my videos were really bad back then, but I like had a lot of confidence in that, like, you know, like this is something that I want to do. I enjoy it, you know. I don't know.
Good.
I don't know if it was something that I was like, you know, I'm gonna do 100%, you know, but I was like, I enjoyed it, you know, and for those who watch, you know, and just slowly grow my audience. It really does. It really does. And it's like a long-term plan.
Exactly, yeah.
Because when we met, that would have been 2 years almost. So
of Joru Gaming.
Yeah. I think I was still Joru Gaming at that time. I didn't change it until junior year.
Yeah, because that's what I remember seeing it as.
Yeah, it was Joru Gaming up until junior year. I changed it to Joru, and then changed it to The Real Joru, and then changed it to The Real Jared, because I was like, I want it to be me, you know? And then that's when I started doing more of my, like, solely in-person personality vlog type things.
Right.
And I was like, Joru's not really my name, you know?
Yeah, where did you get that from?
So, it's not really a long story. I was going to say long story short, but it's not really a long story. So, Jacob Rector, in 5th grade. Yeah. There's a lot of names.
Memories.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So, in 5th grade, we were talking about, like, some conflict that was going on in Jerusalem. And there was, like, you know, like, we're little kids. We don't really know. We just kind of, like, see a headline and we're like, oh, okay.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. So, I come back home and I was like, there's this new game called Star Wars The Old Republic, and it was this game that I loved. Well, I didn't know that I loved it at the time, but I really loved it after the fact.
Right.
And so I created a character called Joru Spunsum. And so Joru, I tried spelling Jerusalem. I had no idea how to spell Jerusalem, obviously, because I spelled it J-O.
Yeah.
At the time, I spelled it Joru.
Right.
Spunsum.
Oh.
Like Joru, like basically Jerusalem or Joru of that part, but with an O instead of an E.
Yeah.
And then spun a web. Okay. And then sum of like 2 numbers.
Right.
And so it was Joru Spunsum. And that was my name for my character. And
that's
then,
okay.
Yeah.
That's creative.
So it was like, I really like it because it is kind of unique. But unfortunately, there is like an Indian like TV show.
That's called that?
That's called Joru.
Okay.
So it was really hard to just like put Joru as like a tag or like use that as my name.
Right.
Because they have like a way massive audience, you know, and they're just like reruns of shows that they have on YouTube.
Right.
And I'm just like, if you ever, I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, this is basically PewDiePie versus T-Series all over again. But I'm like, oh, it's like this little kid from Spokane versus this entire like TV series. So yeah, it was kind of tough early on. I didn't know much about SEO, which if you don't know, it's search engine optimization.
I did not know.
So it's like basically when you look up like certain things, like if you were to look up Rihanna, the artist, you know, if you look up that, you're most likely going to get her. But
I'm tracking.
You know, so it's like, okay, there's a lot of search and traffic going to this website from this tag. And so they basically merged the two. So it's like, okay, people are looking up Joru, but they're going to the Indian TV series.
So you got to come up with something a little more unique.
Yeah. And so like things like trends, like you remember the 100-layer challenge, or like it's basically you put 100 layers of like nail polish or like duct tape or like.
No, I don't even keep up with these things.
Yeah, it was a weird challenge like back probably when we met each other.
Oh, really?
And so like, you know, 100 layers, so people put their own spin on it. And then like there's others like the ASL, challenge, the ice bucket challenge.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
So
yeah,
like when you put that in, you're going to get a lot of keywords because, and especially when people have it in the title, there's like kind of like 3 things, like, your title, description, keywords. If you like align those 3 things, it's kind of like a password.
Well, no, I get that too, because when I'm looking up stuff, I'll look up keywords.
Yeah.
Sometimes versus like the whole thing
title.
that I'm looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you know the title.
Exactly.
You're just like, I just need to get somewhere.
Yeah.
And so this is like my start. Like, like YouTubers that you like, you might look up like their name and then you're like, oh, I know what video I'm trying to find. Exactly. Or just trying to get to their channel. Because not everyone knows their URL or everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And so sometimes, it generally helps when you just look it up in the search sometimes, because it's like, oh, okay. Like a lot of people are looking this up. And it's like, like when people say like it's a high traffic area, like, like you're trying to get a lot of traffic to your post or to your thing. So it's like how many impressions, like on Instagram, they have like things called impressions for like your insights that you can look at. So like, let's say I post a photo, right?
This is for a business account, right?
Yeah. So let's say I post a photo. I look at it on my other account, like my, let's say my YouTube account. And then you look at it. So that's 2 impressions. And then my mom and your mom look at it.
That's 4.
That's 4. Yeah. And so it's like, okay, but only 2 people engaged, your mom and my mom.
Right. So you get to kind of see what your viewers are engaging with.
Yeah. And you can kind of see like some videos. TikTok's really good at this because you can see like a number that like generally kind of signifies like how good this video did. And then obviously the likes, like not everyone likes a certain TikTok.
Right.
But they'll at least view it because TikTok actually shows it to them. So that's like the thing is like, okay, TikTok's like semi boosting the traffic to a video or something like that. And so it's a weird like realm that we all dabble in.
Well, that's how you figure out too, like what you're going to do for your next video.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, there's certain things like, especially more of my friends who don't understand like SEO or like how to properly title a thing. Sometimes it can be really harmful to get super niched. Like, let's say, for instance, oh God, I don't want to give up any video ideas, but let's say a video that I just posted, the waterfall one. It was so the title that I titled it was I visited the biggest waterfall in Washington. Okay, so that's the video. So a few keywords in there, like biggest waterfall in Washington, in Washington.
Right,
you know? So there's some keywords in there. So let's say I visited the Palouse Falls State Park with Alma and Amelia.
Not a lot of people are going to end up viewing that.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, like Palouse Falls is pretty good.
Yeah, but it's too specific.
Yeah.
I think more people, if you're trying to get a broader audience like outside of Washington, you would have to put like the biggest waterfall.
Yeah, and especially with my audience, they're not only in Washington.
Yeah, exactly.
For anybody that knows Washington, is from here, they most likely know the biggest waterfall by chance, or they know like a waterfall in Eastern Washington. Or if I titled it like visiting the biggest a 200-foot waterfall in Eastern Washington. It doesn't really, like, sure, that's like, okay, you're visiting the biggest waterfall in Eastern Washington. That's like cool.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to be like somewhat exciting and thrilling,
Right.
Like the biggest thing for creators, especially on YouTube, is your title and thumbnail. Your video does not matter.
I noticed that
if you don't click on the video.
Pretty wild thumbnails out there.
Yeah.
Totally different from what the actual video is about.
Yeah, or even like reality. Like sometimes it's like sometimes you need to just get people to click on it.
Yeah.
And then like the video will carry itself. There's a few like YouTubers that I follow who are probably around the same like size as I am. And one of them's from the UK. Her name's Nottingham Lass. So shout out to her. She's a hiking channel. So her hiking stuff is a lot different than like baking, She doesn't bake, So like she has things especially that are very niche based because she's a hiker, So if you look up a certain trail, that's like a completely different realm, So she basically gets a lot of her audience that's not her audience from just a specific trail or a specific hike.
Right.
And I see a lot of people especially like these get ready with me channels. And I'm like, how do they like
a get ready? Sorry,
like,
I'm not too big into YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
So a get ready with me.
It's like
just getting ready.
Okay, let's say homecoming, right? You know,
Okay.
you're getting your makeup on. You know, just got to shower. You're doing your routine if that's what you do. You know, you're just kind of getting ready with this person.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird dynamic because it's like I watch these videos and they're like 6 minutes of somebody sitting in the same spot doing like 3 different things. I'm like, there's not much action, you know? I'm like, how do people stay engaged with this?
Yeah,
and it's
I wouldn't know either.
It's really weird because I don't know, maybe it's because my type of content is a lot different than that. Like I'm trying to entertain, you know, I'm trying to keep things moving and keep things moving along.
That more sounds like a tutorial though. Like if you really like her makeup style or the way she does her hair. Right. Like come with me and I'll show you how.
Yeah. And it's like they have a lot of affiliate stuff. A lot of these are like your typical like Instagram influencers.
Right. And that's what I was kind of thinking when you were saying this.
Yeah. So it's just like, I mean, they have a wide audience. You're like, that's, you know, it can come from so many different places. But it's also like very niche based. So it's like a weird thing. It's just like
beauty community.
Yeah. Like your typical beauty lifestyle. It's like lifestyle YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like Emma Chamberlain. She's kind of like the queen of like lifestyle or like relationship building.
See, I didn't even know that. I'm sorry.
You're good. Speaking of homecoming, we went to homecoming together.
We did.
Our sophomore year.
Yeah.
I guess like it was kind of weird because I was really awkward back then too.
As you know, I'm kind of a closed book, not very social.
Yeah.
And that was my first year here in this district.
Yeah. Especially with like new people.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty used to change, but the previous year I was so, I guess, frightened by just the whole idea of going with this guy and having to socialize or go and dance with them much less.
Yeah.
I was pretty conservative, I guess.
Yeah.
So I actually made up an excuse to not go with the person that asked me freshman year, even though he was my friend.
Yeah.
But I was I was very awkward then.
Yeah.
So when you asked me to go to homecoming, I definitely didn't want to repeat that because I felt bad for him that year.
Sure.
But I was definitely what's the word I'm looking for? I was anxious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think also with me, like I was also anxious as well. Just because it's like I'm taking to somebody to like
that was the first time for me.
Yeah, and like last year it was just me and my best friend Chase that went together, and then remember Stephanie Canwright?
Of course.
Yeah. We kind of like, I guess she also didn't have a date at the dance, so then like we became each other's dates.
It was
at the dance.
this senior year?
This was freshman year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and like as I grew up and we junior, senior stuff, it was a lot easier,
right?
But even like I took Liz West, skinnier girl.
I remember the name. I just can't put a face to it right now.
Yeah, we went to homecoming my junior and senior year.
Did she have shorter hair?
A little longer than yours.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll show you a photo.
I'm sure if you show me, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's her. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? We went those 2 years, and it was kind of not the same that it was like anxious, but it was like, it wasn't like we're not like the dancing couple type. Yeah, it was really relaxed, just like kind of like bumping to like the music and just dancing. It wasn't like romantic dancing, or it wasn't like, oh, let's dance together type thing.
Right.
That was the thing.
More of a friend thing.
Yeah, it definitely was. And it's like, for others, like couples, like sure, like that's what typically they're gonna do,
right?
So like it wasn't like the same like that I was anxious, but it was definitely like the same that it was like we're just friends,
Right.
And a lot of people go as friends, some people obviously who are couples go as couples.
I was really afraid of like the whole dating scene then too.
Yeah.
And I was kind of, honestly, Jared, I was kind of afraid that like I didn't really know what that meant going to the dance with you. I didn't know if that was like signifying that I liked you or that we were going to start dating then.
Yeah.
And I'm really sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm really sorry about that.
No, and it's like, and it's hard to like vocalize that. And I understand that, you know, it's hard to like be like, hey, especially back then, you know, now it'd probably be a lot easier, but it's like hard to kind of be like, hey, I don't know what's like to come of this. And like, I don't mean to disappoint you if it was, you know, and it's like, you don't want to let somebody down who asked you, or like, I completely understand that. And so don't be like sorry, because it's like, you know, like you live and learn.
I was just totally awkward back then. And the thought of social events or
like dating,
that was petrifying to me.
Yeah. And it's like, to a point, like, sure, it would have been like nice or like cool, but like, it's like, if it wasn't even before, or if it wasn't like even on the same wavelength before, then it's like, what's the point if it wasn't, you know, prior to. So like, even then, like, what was it? I remember my mom bought flowers, and like, she was like, are we going together? I was like, no, I think I'm just getting dropped off. Like, I didn't really know.
I didn't really know either.
And so like, my mom was like, I got flowers, and I was like, okay. I'm like, do I like give it to her? And we brought them when we dropped each other off, or when my mom dropped me off. And I was like, this seems like a really odd time to like give it to her. Because what is she going to do with them? Like,
as soon as we're going to go
as soon as we're going to go dance. Yeah. So I was like, oh, like I'll be the hero of the day. After the dance, I'll go run over to her house, and then
that was really sweet
on your door.
That was really sweet. I remember my dad was like, who left flowers? And I was like, that might have been Jared. And that made my day.
Yeah. And I remember you were in the shower at the time.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then he told me after. I don't remember that much.
Yeah, I remember because I knocked, and you were after the fact once I ran home, because I remember like staying there for like a few minutes just to like make sure that because I was like, oh crap, like they're gonna be there overnight. Oh crap, like do I need to go grab a vase? Like what do I? I'm like, what do I do?
You're
like,
so thoughtful.
I was like I don't want them to stay there for 9 hours in the cold
and just wilt.
Yeah, and luckily you were in the shower, and I texted you right after, and then obviously I was gone. So
you did text me?
Yeah, I remember.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like 11 at night, so it was.
I thought I pieced it together myself.
It's okay.
I guess not. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long time ago.
Right, memory doesn't always serve you right.
Yeah, and speaking of like graduation, I had never really finished my thought on that, because you talked about Hunter, and then I got on a tangent with Hunter, and then the name.
Right.
So graduation, what I remember from it was, I remember that Friday, we had like our little spiel of how things are gonna go.
Right.
And then blah blah blah. Okay, cool. That's like fun. Blah blah blah. I remember that we turned in our laptop that day, that Friday, and my coach, my track coach, my jumps coach, not Bly's, he was up with Alec Vermeer, who is our athletic director. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, hey, Sully, like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I'm just getting my, license stuff ready so I can drive, because he had like a speeding ticket. And if you have like a ticket or anything like on your record within the past 5 years, you can't drive anybody.
Interesting.
Like as you can't drive athletes, which is like a weird thing. So.
Oh, and this is according to the DOE.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some like thing with that they couldn't. So when
it's
we went
very
to,
protective.
Yeah. So when we went to state, he couldn't drive me. So my dad had to drive me, but luckily it was nice because then my dad could just come anyways. And we got a hotel, and it was fine. And I remember, and I was thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, he's there because it like May 30th was like the time that he could renew it and renew his like thing for the school and actually get it, because he had the, speeding ticket. And like track state was like a week before. So it's just unlucky timing.
Right.
So I was like thinking he was up there for that. And then apparently my dad was there, because when we got to the like a little meeting in the gym, the Alec Vermeer and Mr. Stevens talked like 90% of the time, but at the very beginning, Alec like took the mic and was like, oh, we wanted to unveil like the metal statue, or not statue. I guess it kind of is a statue, but it's not like, like statue type thing. It's like for every state winner, for any athlete that wins state, any student that wins state, Mr. Close, the metal shop teacher, they make like this quote unquote statue of you.
That's awesome.
So they unveiled it there, which was really awesome. And so like I remember that, stayed and take photos. Fast forward, I don't know what happened the rest of that day. I think I just went home. I don't even know if we went home. I don't even know if we did anything else. Should have vlogged it. I didn't. Unfortunate. Hey, we live and learn.
Yeah.
And then we got to Monday, and I remember we had to be at the school. We had to. It's just weird because it's like, it feels like it was yesterday. It really does. So
like it doesn't feel too long ago.
Yeah.
But for some reason you can't remember it.
I can remember it, but it just feels like it was like a week ago or like 2 weeks ago. I can envision it. Like I can envision what I said to like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm so the opposite. Like I'm just like what I just said. I feel like it was right around the corner.
Yeah.
But now, like when I try to recall anything, I can't really remember.
Yeah. Yeah. So like Monday we got into the gym and they were like, we're disappointed. Like senior sunset, the fireworks went off, blah, blah, blah. So that was like a huge thing. And they're like, we graduate today. Like half of us don't really care.
I didn't even go to that.
And so we did that. And then they're like, okay, go drive to breakfast. You know, we had breakfast at True Legends. And we then after that, we're like, okay, we need to be downtown at this time, like 11:20. And I was like, that's fine. Be there. I remember I rode with Chase. And me and Chase drove down there. And then we go through rehearsal. We do the up-down thing. They go through their speeches, blah, blah, blah. And then I drove back with James, Gabe, and Melissa because Chase had to stay a little bit later because he was valedictorian.
Right.
So they had to, like, actually practice their speeches. So I had to take a ride back. And then we went to Red Robin where we had boys' night.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. And we'll talk about this later because we talked about it right before, but I didn't want to explain it because I wanted to mention it on here. So we went to Red Robin, but it was like during lunchtime. So like, oh, we'll have like boys' night because it was Monday. And back then we did like every Monday. And luckily, like we graduated Monday. So we did like a lunch one because we knew we were going to be busy that night. So we do that. I get back home and my family had arrived the day before, meaning my extended meeting my mom's sister.
Right. To come see you graduate.
Yeah, yeah. And my grandma. I mean, my dad's side lives close, so they drove for like my graduation. Oh, plus my graduation party was the day before. Right. So that's why they were there as well. I think they arrived that Saturday before, and then blah, blah, blah. My dad's cousin was here, Crystal, with her kid, Duncan, and had the graduation party on that Sunday, graduated that Monday, and I remember I still need to finish my cap and gown. Well, my gown don't really bedazzle, but I needed my cap. It was still green, so I needed to.
Yeah, I think that's the number one memory I have from graduation.
What did you put on yours?
That's okay. So the memory of it, actually, Jared, is how stressed I was over finishing it. I'm not at all artistic or
finishing
creative.
The cap or finishing high school?
The cap.
Probably with high school as well.
Yeah.
Being stressed with everything.
No, I was more stressed with Hunter's situation.
Sure.
Him finishing.
Yeah.
But
yes.
but my cap, I honestly don't even remember what I put on it because I ended up giving up and I was just like, no, I'm done. I don't really know what I want to do with it. So my parents took it and they put something on it.
So do you know what was on it, the final product?
It was this, I know, have you ever seen the movie Tangled?
Yeah.
You know, like that sun logo?
Yeah.
Type of thing. That was on there. Okay. And then it had some sort of quote and
oh, the places you'll go. The Dr. Seuss quote that everyone has.
Yeah, I know. It was something. No, it wasn't that cliche, but yeah, I had something on there.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't even remember what it was.
Do you still have your cap and gown? I still have mine.
I moved really abruptly after after high school, so I kind of left everything behind.
Sure.
And I have no idea where
lost in translation.
I sold a lot of my stuff too.
Sure.
So maybe my mom has my cap and gown. I'm not sure.
You moved straight back to Hawaii?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're there since until now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2 years.
Yeah. Basically our first 2 years of college. Which is kind of insane. It's kind of nice though.
Yeah.
On my cap, I mentioned this last vlog, or actually not vlog. Why did I say vlog? Last two podcasts. I put redefining what success looks like, and then put my 2A triple jump 45.9 and a 1/4 inch. That's what I put on it. And I remember this is funny because I made a vlog out of not a vlog. Why do I keep saying vlog? I made a video out of this of like a storytelling because like when COVID hit, I was like, what type of content do I make?
Right.
I did like story stuff. And one of them was like I crashed my car on graduation night.
You did.
I did, but I also didn't crash it. Like I didn't like total it, if that makes sense. Like I use it for the title.
Right.
So I was at Fred Meyer's because I needed to grab the adhesive stickers that, like I hadn't even bought that. Like, and I graduate within like the next 3 hours.
Right.
Like I graduate at 7 and it's 3:10.
Right. Well, that was me with my graduation outfit. I had no idea what I was going to wear. Yeah. I was at the mall and I think I was there until like 5.
Really? Just like trying to figure out something
Yes, like totally last minute. That's how I roll, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know. Especially with high school, I really thrive under that like final deadline.
Right.
And so like with this, I was at Fred Meyer's. They have this angled parking, right?
Yeah.
It's not like the straight.
Right.
So they have the angled parking, so it's only a one way. And I was in like the 4th spot on the left lane. I'll do it for you. So I was in the 4th spot in the left lane. This lady, I'm not going to say her name, but shout out her.
That lady.
Yeah, she was Norwegian. And she was in the 4th one on the right. And there was a big truck that had like a bedding cover over it. Okay. And that was in the 3rd spot. So I pull out and I stop because there's a guy that was coming this way, coming up, going to Fred Meyer's. So Fred Meyer's is up here. Mm-hmm. So I stop because I see him and then proceed. And, I like check everything, like check all my things. And like right as I look up, we just like hit fenders like corner to corner.
That's not too bad.
No. I mean, it's definitely better than crash. Like we just got into like a little collision.
But anything for the clicks.
Title. Yes. And so that was I don't know why I wore what I did when I made that story video. I've definitely understood a little bit more now what to wear, but I like, oh my gosh, like I pull back in. I'm like, oh my God. Like I literally graduate in like 3 hours. And this lady, I'm like, hey, like, are you okay? Like, she's like, license and registration. Like, she basically, I was like, bro, I'm like, no, you're okay. You're fine. I'll go grab my registration real fast and my insurance. And so like, I was petrified because I think our rollover is in April. It's like every 6 months, April to August or October. So I was like, oh, I'm like, do I have my new insurance in here? Because I like, it must have slid right under. I had it, but luckily it like slid under or was like at a different spot. And like I grab it, I need my insurance, not my registration, but she was basically like that. She was like, like when you get pulled over.
Yeah, like an officer.
Like license and registration. I was like, okay, chill. But it was like more or less like this guy, like this lady, she was like, insurance, please. I'm like, okay. I'm like, and then by the time I get back, she has like this note paper out and I'm like, bro, like, chill. Like, are you
don't even know whose fault it is either at that point.
Yeah. And like when we recapped it all, like it was her fault because I had already started going.
Right.
Luckily I was like, my graduation party was the day before. I got a lot of money. I'm going to spend it on YouTube stuff. And then I got to spend like literally 4/5 of it on this accident.
Oh no.
Luckily I didn't because I had to go through a long process of like explaining everything, and this was the shadiest part about her. I don't like talking bad about people, but this is an exception.
Okay.
So when I grabbed my insurance, I went back and she's like, you know what? My insurance place is right there because State Farm's like not too far. And she grabbed, like, I have my insurance here. She's like, my insurance place is right down there. And
so she was going to take you there?
No. She took my insurance.
Oh.
She took my insurance card, like, out of my hand, like, straight out of my hand. And I was like...
I don't know how... I think then I'd be a little feisty. Yeah. I can turn it on when I need to.
And I was like, what is...
You poor thing, and you're so nice. You're not really going to say much.
I mean, this lady was, like, 56. I'm not going to, like yell at an old lady, but I was like, okay. I'm like...
Poor thing.
I'm just like, get through this. And so, like, I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm like, you could pull out first. Because I'm like, I don't want to like get into another accident or collision with her. I'm like, you could pull out first. And I'm like, and then I like follow her. And then like, since my car wasn't damaged like at all, like I didn't need to be there, but
that's good.
But I, luckily, the first thing that I said when I got to State Farm was like, they're like, "Do you have insurance, sir?" And I was like, "No, she has it."
Yeah, she has my insurance.
Yeah, and so like when I got on the phone with like the people who were her insurance, and because she needed to make a claim because my car was fine.
Right.
Shout out Ford Tauruses. They were kicking it back there in '01. And when I said that, I was like, "Oh, here's a number to the State Farm," and ask like Michelle, because she was the one that helped us or something. I'm making Michelle up, but I was like, call for this person, and ask them like who handed them my insurance. And so like they called and they're like, "Oh yeah, like okay, it seemed like, this lady, this Norwegian lady,
yeah,
was the one who handed the insurance."
Right.
And so there was something behind that, like that had a reason for that, but I don't remember off the top of my head. And then like, I basically explained the story. I check left, check right, check over my shoulder, look at the rearview mirror, and you could hear it. And you're like, "Oh crap!" And then her car was like damaged, and her car was like not new, but it was new enough that it had more technology built into like the back end. Like had the rear view camera.
Right, like she had the camera.
Yeah, and had like
how did this happen?
I think she had the sensors, but not the camera. And especially since we're angled parking, you couldn't tell.
Right.
So there was, and then it was like, "Oh, it looks like we're gonna have to like replace the entire fender." I'm like, "Bro, like, get some like suction stuff and just."
How did you actually find out though for sure that you were the one that was reversing first?
Because I had already gone, and she like, you could tell when she, on her side of the story, she just went like just straight out, like didn't really care.
She said that?
Yes.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So she admitted that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like further on, they're like, "Hey, like I remember I had to go drop my sister off at Flying Squirrel with my cousin and my aunt, and I like go to Costa Vida because I was gonna go get a burrito, and they're like, "Hey," I missed a call because I was like dropping them off at the time. They're like, "Hey, we just want to let you know, like, it's her fault," like something like that. I'm doing it for show, but they're like, "Hey, like blah blah blah, it's her fault." I'm like, "Oh, thank God." I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna celebrate with this burrito now."
Yeah.
And then go drive home and just,
that was the best burrito ever.
I know. So it was a weird time at that time, and then basically we graduate, and then I cry on stage.
You did?
Yeah, because winning state was like something that I always wanted to do, and then when they announced it, that's like when all the pieces fell into line, and I was like, "Oh, man."
Good for you.
I'm like, I finally did it,
right.
And so I remember on stage, I'm like, "Oh man." And then they like rise the lines up, and we walk out, they say the names, and Mrs. Hovren, she was like, or no, yes, Mrs. Hovren and Mrs. Merkel right next to each other. And Mrs. Hovren's like, "Are those happy tears?" I'm like,
"Yes,
I didn't say yes. I just shook my head.
You felt accomplished.
Yeah. And so it was like a really emotional time that was like, wow. Like
it looks like you're getting emotional.
I know
now.
I am. I get emotional all the time when I talk about it, but it's like everything came full circle.
Right.
In like a weird way, even with like the hard time, like when I hurt myself my junior year, didn't make it to state, should have went to state, but God forbid the official there. Then basically when I got to like senior year, it was like a redemption season, and then went all through the stuff with like the diss tracks, and I was like, "Oh my God."
Success is so rewarding.
And then the hat, that really kind of felt like it was like, yeah, like the cap. I mean, I was like redefining what success looks like.
Right.
Like it doesn't always mean. It's not like a one size fits all solution. Like success looks different in other ways. For some things, like even success look like graduating high school.
Exactly.
Like it may have been hard throughout those 13 years of your life if that was like the only thing you knew, and you struggled through those years. So
yeah, everyone has different goals.
Yeah.
Be mindful of everyone's situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it was a really interesting time, to say the least, for me at least, because it was like a good closing of like the book, and it was like the Hunger Games. It was like, wow.
Right.
And I was like, wow, that's a good book. I wonder what's going to happen in book 2,
Right.
So I remember reading those books.
I did not, but I did watch the series.
Yeah. Are you an avid reader at all?
No. I mean, if I'm being honest, the only thing that I remember taking time out of my day to go and read was the AP biology textbook. And I know that sounds really I guess you can say nerdy, but like I really enjoyed
biology.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I really loved it.
Yeah. I remember you had the little voice recorder with you.
I did.
When we would do the study stuff.
The study groups after school.
Yes, and you had the little thing that would record the audio so you could, I imagine, re-listen to it.
Yeah. And as I was taking, I think I stopped taking notes just because I really went to those to just verify what I knew was correct.
Yeah.
Like I already had studied it a lot. I just went there just because at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know why I really enjoyed that class.
Yeah. I mean, being in that class with you, you could definitely tell, like, and I imagine everyone else could tell that you really enjoyed that class.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it at the beginning.
You didn't like it towards the end?
No.
I loved it the entire time.
Yeah.
I just really like biology.
Like, it's a good class. I love Mr. Vanderpool. Love the people that were in it. It was just such a hard class, especially with all the other things that I had going on at the time. It was just like track, orchestra, like sports as a whole.
It can be a bit much.
You know, so then it's like, oh my gosh, I'm like typing notes out at lunch.
Right.
And then fifth period is when I got to turn them in, or fourth period when I got to turn them in. So it's like I'm typing them all the time, and I was always so like either at the deadline and or like staying up super late. And I'm like, oh my God. It was just
it's pretty
a draining class.
Yeah.
So it was really tough to like it's a hard thing. It's kind of like when you say it's like tough to like somebody, you know, like you want to support them, but it's like they're just like
it's taking too much out of you.
Yeah, and it's like people trying to fight back or like it's weird because it's like it's a tough class to like, you know. There's so many good things about it, but it's like such a tough class to like.
I understand.
As a whole. And like I mean it in a way like as if it's tough to like somebody. It's like there's this one person on like Instagram, TikTok. I don't know what platform he's like based out of, but like he plays basketball.
Okay.
And like what, let's say when somebody calls you out and it's like, you know, you're definitely wrong. So like, let's say I called you out for something, you know, you're wrong. And then you like fight the wrongness. It's like,
right. Just because you're arguing to argue at that point.
Yeah. And it's like, what point do you have to prove? Like, just be honest with yourself, you know?
I think at some point it clicks and you really don't have a point. You just want to be right.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's like with this person, it's like, I mean, you're a talented basketball player, but it's so tough to like you. You know?
I understand. Okay, yes, I understand
you know what
you're saying.
So it's like in a class, it's like I love this class so much, but it's like
it's really hard,
so draining.
Yeah,
it was a hard class, especially when you didn't pick up on certain elements early on.
Oh yeah,
like,
everything was building blocks.
Yeah, so it was a tough class.
It's funny because when I say building blocks, I think of amino acids. But anyways, no, I understand what you're saying with that. I think I more felt like that with AP European History.
Oh, God.
I took that, and as much as I loved that class, and I still do, I'm really appreciative of everything that I've learned. I've learned a lot from that class.
Yeah.
It was so difficult. And, you know, shout out to Mrs. Jacobson. I love her. Really, I do.
Yeah.
But at that time, I was traveling back and forth between Hawaii a lot for family reasons.
Yeah.
And I know that Mrs. Jacobson did not like that, so she made it a little tougher on me.
Yeah.
When I came back,
she's like,
because I was missing her. She does not like people missing her class, and I understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because then it kind of becomes a burden to her as well.
Right. But I kept up. I did all my studies.
Yeah. Well, even then, this is like a very personal situation. It's like sometimes you don't really have a choice. But like if you do have a like if you're just blatantly missing the class,
no,
sure, like that's like different, you know, like completely like that burden, like get on them. But like for this, you know, especially with like family issues, it's just like, come on, Jacobson.
I had to go.
Yeah.
I know,
like,
but I think it's just because she was really passionate about her class and passionate for her students.
Yeah,
that I think she maybe took it personal, maybe. You know,
yeah,
I was gone.
It's like, oh, I definitely got that because I did Knowledge Bowl my freshman year.
I tried. Yeah. I'm not that knowledgeable.
Yeah. And so I tried it my freshman year. I liked it. It was hard because of like cross country at the time. So I just like stopped showing up.
But did you get any answers in
the
practice?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
I think I got maybe one, and it was on like geometry or something like that. But
yeah, I was pretty good at like some of the math questions, some of the geographical questions. That I was okay with like pretty famous authors, but I mean,
at that time, I wasn't too into like reading or anything like that, and a lot of it was like different references and quotes.
Oh yeah,
and like I had no idea; it just flew over the top of my head.
Yeah, and I'm like,
and then someone's over there like
I'm
clicking
like, this is
it
not
super fast.
I know this is not Jeopardy, like, but it also is Jeopardy at the same time. I'm like, yeah. Jacob was really good at it. Jacob Rector.
He was
really good at it.
Actually, I didn't know he was in it.
Yeah, he was in it. He was really good my freshman year. He stuck with it for most of.
You would have to have like a lot of knowledge about a lot of different things.
Yeah,
like
especially
a wide variety.
Yeah,
of things.
especially like old things.
Yes,
because they're nothing new. Like
no.
there was really nothing new with it.
But then again, like
I can understand
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was a tough it was really tough to like her because like every time you look at or not look at her, but like you'd pass by, she'd give you like a scowl. You're like,
oh no, I love.
Like I know, like
that's her personality.
Yeah,
she's really just like, what's the term? She's
She made me feel bad for like quitting, but it's like I also have like a good
She made me feel bad for missing. I know what you mean, but I think it was more like her sense of humor to just kind of I can't think of the word.
It was just like a
like
weird
mess
way
with you, kind of.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I mean?
with you. It's like a weird way of like expressing it for me.
Yeah, but it was all out of love. I mean, if she doesn't mess with you a little bit, I don't think she really cares about you.
Yeah,
it's what
so
I'm
it's like at least she's acknowledging you.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, later in like once I got into like not leadership stuff, but like once I got older and it kind of just subsided, it felt a lot better, or just like I guess like I just moved on from like whatever this like quote unquote beef was.
Right.
Like, oh, I feel bad.
I know.
Especially like freshman year, like walking, you're like, oh.
She can be a little intimidating.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because she's so not she's really joyful and like she does have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
But she'll play like this game with you.
It's like cat and mouse.
Yes. Yeah. That's something like that.
Yeah, it definitely is because I definitely feel like the mouse like 100% of the time.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, so like I really love Mrs. Merkel. I thought a lot of people said she was really intimidating. I really loved her.
She
was one of my favorites.
Like me.
She was like top 3 teachers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I didn't have the same experience.
Sure.
I had her first period.
Yeah.
And
for
you
AP,
know how,
AP Gov?
Yes.
Okay.
I took that for the first semester. Because like I said, I had her first period and you know how she feels about tardiness.
Yeah.
And I was always late first period. And whatever period was after lunch.
Yeah. Fourth.
So, yeah.
Typically.
Typically. So I had to change out of that class immediately.
Yeah. And then what class did you move into? 5th period with her? Or did you move into like another complete different teacher?
I think I went back to SD.
Okay.
And I don't remember what class that was.
Yeah. Because I didn't have Jacobson or SD. I took Mr. Johnson both those years.
Oh, maybe it was No, I don't think so.
No, because he didn't teach seniors.
Yeah, no. And I don't remember, honestly.
But yeah, it was pretty interesting because like I remember there's a lot of people, especially my junior year, that were like, oh, Mrs. Merkel, like, why Mrs. Merkel? I'm like, okay, like, I mean, I guess like based on that, she seems like a really harsh teacher, but like I'm always going to give people a shot because I'm going to always treat people
I know for sure.
like what they treat me or like I'm going to give them the chance. And like I loved her, she was a very boisterous teacher. She was I mean there were some parts where it was like okay, like just don't get on her nerve type thing, but you understand that.
Did you ever notice a bias in her teaching?
No.
You never did.
I never did. I mean there were some people that tried pushing it or trying to get an answer out of her, but she was really good at playing devil's advocate. Because I think for her, she needed to understand like the full spectrum of things, not just one side.
Oh, of course, yeah, because she's a teacher.
Yeah, especially a history teacher, especially a government teacher.
Government, yeah.
I didn't find much bias.
Not so much in the things that she would say, but I think she was a little more selective on certain students.
Okay.
Less in the sense of like a teacher's pet, but more so. I mean, this is just what I recall. You can't really quote me on anything.
Sure.
And but I remember her being a bit more selective with some students and they all had a certain type of view.
Okay.
So, and she would never call on, she actually only called on one person who had an opposing view.
Oh, gotcha.
Ever, but that was because he raised his hand all the time.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, it wasn't actually. Shout out to Austin. I don't remember his last
Austin
name.
Coulter, yes.
Yes, that's him.
Yes.
I loved sitting by him. He's so funny.
Yes.
You can
he's very
see
blunt.
his eye.
He's blunt and he's true to himself.
Eye rolling, everything, going like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh
Love
my
Austin.
God. Yeah, I know. And he was, I mean, you could not silence him. So
Yeah.
that's why she chose him only.
Sure. I mean, it makes sense, especially with somebody who's like as loud as
Yeah, because
Austin.
you can hear him in the back just going, oh. It was really funny.
Yeah, I enjoy Austin because at boys' night, he'll come a few times because he's busy because he works at the airport. So like it's just like a weird job that you like don't get much time off.
Right.
Weird scheduling. So I see him like probably like maybe once a month at boys' night with like Chase, James.
That's really awesome that you guys still do that and keep in touch.
Yeah, it's just like something that we like always like doing because like we enjoy each other's company. You know, we're on so many different schedules.
You guys make time for each other.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've done it since like
graduation.
I want to say it was 2017.
Oh, way past that.
Yeah, like our junior year. We always used to go up to Chase's house because he had a really nice house and really nice like TV. He had a projector, so we'd watch like games, and especially like when football was around. We always invited Josh Ward. Tommy was also there as well. Tommy No. I
remember him.
Yeah, we really, I mean, we've been best, me, Chase, James, Tommy, we've all been best friends since like middle school, like 7th grade.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. Like we always sat at lunch every day together in 8th grade.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
I never really had the luxury of having like a childhood friend just because we moved around so much.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'm kind of used to just friends coming and going.
Yeah.
So that's really awesome to hear that.
Would you say it's hard to like maybe get attached to like a friend because you know, or there's a possibility
absolutely,
that
and I think that's what terrified me about dating too.
Yeah.
Was I'm very protective over like my emotions and everything.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I don't have the time of day for something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely it made it harder to not only get attached to someone, but to open up to people and build a solid and open, vulnerable relationship.
Yeah, yeah, because they're either going to backstab you or you're going to move.
Just move, exactly.
Yeah, so it's just like super duper hard.
Yeah.
To like, who do you let your vulnerable side to?
Yeah,
you know?
who do I really let into my life?
Yeah, yeah, and I can understand why that's really hard because, you know, like, that you moved here when you're 11. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, even by then, you probably only developed, like, friends from, like, 7 to, like, that age.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit before, but it wasn't, like, a genuine friendship. It was just people you knew and you hung out with. And then from there, you only had, like, 4 years up here in the West Valley District and moved here to East Valley.
Yeah. I too, so when I got here, I think I did 5th grade, and in West Valley, they have 2 different middle schools.
Yeah, they have City School and Centennial.
Yeah, and I went to City School.
Okay.
Because my mom thought I would prosper more in like a project-based school.
Yes, which was City School.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of people that have things to say, but I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, yeah. My ex-girlfriend went there.
Yeah, but none of my friends went to City School with me, so I had to remake friends after that. Yeah,
and like we have Intech here, like at East Valley, which is, you know, like a little bit more group project based, which I can understand, you know, especially when there's certain subjects that you struggle in. It's just like, okay.
Right.
And it's a choice. It's not like you get put in there because you have a certain level, you know, of education. So, I mean, I like that idea as a whole. You know, it's obviously not meant for everybody.
Right.
You know, it's definitely very individualized.
Right.
If you want to go there.
Everyone has different preferences.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, even the Running Start, you know, like some people just said, oh, I'm going to Running Start, you know.
Yeah, I wish I did that.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have obviously saved a lot of money too.
It would have, but I was told, that, you know, the credits might not transfer.
Yeah.
And it's better to have AP under your, I guess.
Yeah, under your belt.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's again, with that, it's hard because you don't know if they're going to transfer, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, you know, I I'm just gonna
And for
go
me,
with
I
it.
never passed a single AP exam, so
Really?
it didn't really matter. Like,
Really?
Yeah. My bio, I think I got a 2 on every single one but my literature one my senior year, mainly because I didn't really care and didn't want to take it. So I just
I chose not to take it. I just didn't want to.
I was forced to. It made no sense to me.
You were forced to by who?
Hovering.
Oh, yeah.
And so she signed me up without me like being like, yeah, I want to take it.
She paid for it too?
No.
Oh.
That was the worst part.
Yeah,
and
that
especially
kinda
since I was
sucks.
late, I had to pay another like double of what it was.
Well, has that benefited you in any way?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
just a good story, you
well,
know.
now
to
you
tell.
can go back and be like, well, you owe me $90 now.
Yeah, 144. So yeah, that was tough.
It was 144.
Yeah. It was tough because I mean, I had like the test and whatever that cost is, then plus the late fee.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know about the actual number. I just
Yeah,
I thought
for
it
sure.
would be like somewhere.
Yeah,
around
no, I
that.
think you're definitely in the ballpark because
Yeah.
it's not like $30.
No,
you know?
not at all.
Yeah. So it was like tough and I'm like, "Oh my god." I'm like, "Why?" So like at the time, this is a funny story. This is a funny story because I actually get to tell it in this form. I've told it on my stream a million times, but for those listening and for those watching, at the time, I had kind of had the diss track stuff going on at the time. And so I had 3 songs out and there was 3 prompts that we need to write an essay on.
Okay.
I just wrote my lyrics. I did not care. I did not care. I literally just wrote out my lyrics. I'm like, how does this song go again? Like just sitting there. I was done within like probably 40 minutes of like the 2 hours that we have.
Wow.
And I just sat there. I was like, what's that lyric again? How does it go? Yep. Okay. Oh, yeah. And then I just wrote my lyrics for the 40 minutes.
Good.
And just sat there. I did not care. I actually tried on the multiple choice. I actually kind of tried because I was like, oh, I'll have something to do, And if I do well, sure.
Right.
But then I was like, I told all my friends, and Josh was like, imagine you get a 2 on the test or you pass.
After just like not really caring.
You're not really caring about the essay, but like you'd have basically had to perfect the entire multiple choice and then got like, I would have actually had to write something on the essay, so it was impossible.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, I think maybe I could have got, no, I don't even think I could have because it had nothing to do with the prompts that were given to us.
Well, I mean, I guess that's probably why she wanted you to take it and she signed you up for it because you didn't care and you still passed it.
Well, I didn't. I got a 1 on it.
I thought you said you passed it.
The hypothetical was that Josh thought I was going to pass, but jokingly.
I thought.
Jokingly.
Sorry,
No,
mistaken.
you're good.
I thought you said that you passed. The only one you passed was the literature.
No, unfortunately not.
Oh,
that was my worst one. I got a 2 on every one but that one.
Oh, I thought you said the opposite. My bad.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It was tough. My sister is here, and I'm pretty sure the door is locked. So we're gonna cut to like a little sponsor segment. Welcome back. Again, make sure to check out the Nationer merch, shop.spreadshirt.com/Nationer. I'm not wearing the merch right now, fortunately, because it is really hot in here. Yeah. So it was like a good breather. It's good just to kind of get my sister in so she could actually get ready for her day and for us to like breathe out, fan out and cool off. So life in Hawaii, like what's that like? Like what would you say is the most, I wouldn't say most funnest because that just seems like a really bad thing to say, most funnest.
Or the most fun.
The most fun. There you go. The most fun thing to do in Hawaii, especially on the island that you're from, Oahu.
There are so many things to do, actually. And for me, the most fun is probably something that I haven't been able to do yet.
Okay.
But just along like snorkeling and I want to scuba dive.
Nice.
But you have to get certified.
Okay.
But I have a skin condition where it kind of prevents me from going to the beach as often as I would like.
Yeah.
So, I really want to swim with sharks, but not in the sense where they, chum the water and you kind of see a more aggressive behavior.
Okay.
I would rather see them in a, much more relaxed environment and just see,
Yeah.
I would like to study them just on like a side thing.
Yeah.
Without cages or anything like that.
Sure.
But obviously, I'd have to get certified, and I'd probably have to take some classes.
Yeah. So it's just like a little process that you kind of have to go through
exactly
for a few years or so.
Yeah, but I have to get over the hurdle of my medical condition first.
What is that medical condition?
It's really common actually, and it's just it fluctuates between moderate to severe, and it's just eczema.
Oh, gotcha.
But like mine, to the sense like it's all it wasn't so bad when I was up here, but when I moved back down to Hawaii after about a year, it spread to my entire body, and
which would make sense with the hot, humid nature.
Exactly, and it's just always so inflamed and itchy, and going to the beach and being in the sunlight, it makes it worse. Yeah,
because I have eczema too.
Yeah, it's very common.
Yeah, not on the moderate to severe. Mine's pretty mild. Like it's pretty low on the spectrum. I don't know what the spectrum looks like, but I get it here and there, but more during the summer and more during the winter. Because it gets just kind of like
dry and then sweaty.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I used to have it on my legs. That was like the side of my thigh. Used to have it. So like when you itch, you just keep itching it. I have it on the back of my head.
Yeah, I understand that too.
Yeah.
I have it literally from, I mean, at times, like I said, it fluctuates.
Yeah.
But like from my scalp all the way down, it's like it got so bad that the doctor said that I would qualify for. Have you ever heard of Dupixent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see it on like commercials all the time.
Yeah. So right now I'm in the process of using whatever topical for 6 months so that my insurance will cover it.
Yeah. Sure.
So yeah, that's
been a process as well.
Yeah, but once I get over that, I'm gonna go get scuba certified. And to me, that's the most fun thing would be to go and just study some shark behavior.
Yeah, especially when you're down there so often, that it would might as well.
Yeah, exactly. Or surfing.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely. I want to do that too.
Yes. I never really got to surf properly. Like my cousin Riley did a little lesson for an hour. Obviously, you can't really learn that fast how to surf properly. I mean, you could probably paddle pretty fast and maybe get up if you've had maybe experience. But she tried. I don't know to what success. At the same time, me and my dad, we went out off the shore. There's this little kind of not excursion, but I'll say excursion because it's something that you buy and they boat you out. And it's this huge little boat that has slides. It's like a fun boat. If that makes sense.
You can call that an excursion.
Okay, yeah, and it's just especially more touristy. You use that kind of for tourist stuff. And it was just this fun boat that you can jump off of.
That's really neat.
Slide off of.
Yeah.
They have one of those things that you might see in lakes that you bounce on. It's like a trampoline, water trampoline.
Oh, I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know how far off it is, but it gets probably 40 feet deep. And it's just sand. You could still see the bottom, luckily.
Right.
I'd be terrified. And you could see the white sand. You could see these cool fish. You're like, oh, there's these fish. And
it's beautiful.
You put you a wetsuit, and they give you goggles and snorkels. Right. And I'm like, oh my God. You go down and try and touch it. It gets so cold because you're in the ocean. And so that was super duper fun when I went in 2012. And I really enjoyed that. I would love to surf, but
that requires some skill.
Yeah. I think I'd be pretty good at it because I have a pretty good upper body, at least that I can.
Are you good at snowboarding?
Yeah.
I've heard that.
There's some parallel?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Because I also rip sticking as well.
Oh, so you should be all right.
Okay. With at least the movement. I mean, it probably isn't going to be as easy, but I have kind of the general.
Right. Because when you're out there, you have to accept that you're in a different environment and you're not in control at all. You're going with the motion, with the waves.
Yeah. That's kind of a scary, especially I have no idea what's under me all the time. That's kind of what scares me.
What I always think is that, if there's probably most likely a shark around. But if a shark wanted to attack you, you wouldn't even have the time of day to, think about it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to swim away. So once you step in the water, you just gotta leave your worries behind, and if it happens, it happens. But most likely it won't.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the likelihood is pretty unlikely.
It's pretty low.
Yeah. Different areas may vary, but yeah, I would love to, especially in Hawaii. I wouldn't go North Shore, obviously, because North Shore they got some big waves.
Yeah, they do. I really like that. Though
I love watching it. We watched it probably for 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, it's mesmerizing.
Yeah, and I'm just how do they get up? They have a competition. They have the the one guy who's like also the DJ who's like, yeah, we got Rihanna Lachlan coming off the big way.
Yeah.
You know, and just super duper excited and happy to be there. And that's what I love. And especially about Hawaii, like everyone really liked and maybe not even loved like the environment and like being there. Especially with like even tourists too.
Yeah, it's definitely like what you call aloha spirit.
Okay.
Like everyone kind of, you get there, you're relaxed, you're enjoying the day, you're enjoying nature, and you're really, honestly, you're enjoying other people's company. Okay. The fact that, you're all there together and you're all participating in this one way or another.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, I don't know, like, I know like aloha, how do you say Merry Christmas?
Mele Kalikimaka.
Yeah, I always forget the beginning part. And I'm like, I always remember like I forgot it now.
You just gotta listen to the song.
Yeah. Once you listen to the song, you get it down.
Yeah.
Those are like the only two general words that I know. Because I only knew how to say like Merry Christmas because it was around the time, and then like aloha to like greet somebody.
And mahalo.
Yes.
If I'm being honest, I'm quarter Hawaiian.
Okay.
But and in my family, obviously they're more Hawaiian than that. But I don't know a lick of Hawaiian. I know all the tourist words.
Yeah.
I could maybe tell you a little bit more that the locals use frequently, but like...
Yeah. Just like little phrases, but nothing like a full thought out sentence.
No. I don't even think I really know a phrase.
Okay.
I kind of just know words.
Yeah. I've been learning Spanish on an app, Duolingo.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my streak right now is, I'm going to look it up just to be for certain. I've been doing it for a long time. I've been learning Spanish because I'm Hispanic, and I want to like be able to like talk to my family in any which way.
Great. That's really great.
I'm at 188 days.
Wow.
So I've been doing it early December.
Good for you.
Early December was when I started. So yeah, I think it was funny because early December I started. I think like day 5 I forgot to do it, and then ever since I picked up the streak again. So it's
good. Consistency is the number one way to really develop any type of skill.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was, and definitely like I've definitely learned a lot more about like stuff. I always kind of get troublesome when I'm like talking to somebody who actually knows Spanish, because they have no idea what level of Spanish I know.
Right.
And especially when I go to like a Hispanic restaurant and they speak Spanish there when I'm doing DoorDash.
But that's perfect practicing.
Yeah. And I definitely practice more like my greetings, my goodbyes, and just trying to reinforce them.
That's brave.
So but it's like sometimes like they say something and I'm like,
crickets.
I'm just like, no. No. Like, no comprende.
Yeah.
No comprende, señora.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
How would I say it? Yo hablo poquito español.
Which I speak little Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's basically saying like, hey, I don't know much Spanish.
Right.
You know, you could say like mucho or like something like that, but it's
I know what that means.
Yeah, which is much.
Yeah.
Or a lot. Yeah, so it's like, it's picking up stuff, and they, at least Duolingo, they have like pretty basic things. Like they have stuff with school, but I don't really use school as much.
Right.
I'm able to talk to my grandfather about school because he lives in California and he's Spaniard, so I can at least talk to him. It's not fully.
Does he have trouble speaking English?
No, he speaks both pretty fluently. He only went to like the 6th grade because he was a cotton picker back in the day, working on the farm, picking cotton. So he dropped out at 6th grade, so his English is still kind of like broken, but I mean, he's lived for an additional 70 years.
Right, and you're going to pick it up.
Yeah, and he's definitely picked it up. But you could definitely tell it's not always like solid. It's not like us having a conversation.
It's not fluent.
Yeah. It's definitely not like 100% all the time. It's a little broken. They
have that in Hawaii, and they actually call it broken English, but the term for it is pidgin.
Okay.
And I cannot demonstrate. But
sure.
Like the backpack, it's not just a backpack brand, but Dakine.
I do not.
Yes, you do.
Do I?
Yes. Dakine.
Oh, yes. I thought you said like Dakine, like D-E kind. But it's Dakine?
Dakine.
Yes.
Some people call it Dakin.
Okay.
But it's Dakine.
Okay.
And
I think I can envision the letters.
Yeah, and it's... So, like, that is, like, the kind.
Okay.
Do you understand? Yeah, like decline food or decline, I don't know, something like that. Yeah.
So it's like a phrase, but turned into a brand, but it's like
it's
also.
more like if you're kind of referring to something.
Okay.
Like that, like
Gotcha.
decline.
Gotcha.
I just keep saying it, but like I know you're not going to get it if I just keep saying it.
No, you're
But yeah,
good.
it's when you're referring to something.
Okay.
I think of it as like the kind.
Yeah.
Like the kind of what?
The kind of brand that you buy when you go into the store.
Yeah, something like that.
Of cereal you
say they would just say the kind brand.
Gotcha.
Yeah, something
like
that.
It's like gotta. It's not got to.
Exactly.
It's like gotta. I gotta.
It's very shortened.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And it's just easy. You understand. You understand what you're saying. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, gotcha. So it's like that type of like, not like enunciation, but that's how you announce it. It's like the merging of two words. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Everything. It just makes it shorter. I'm trying to think of any.
Yeah, like I have to, not like I have to.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah, and so, like
sort
certainly.
of.
Yeah, it's kind of like.
That's just
weird
pronunciation. I think at that point.
Yeah. I think there's some weird like, not enunciation, but like pronunciation of like, or like lingo, like, or maybe not lingo. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
It's okay.
Just like kind of like that, like the kind, you know, like it's just like you say something super fast that it sounds like a whole different word.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and so that's like, are you saying you have that, or like that happens sometimes in Hawaii?
Oh no, so with a lot of the local people there, especially depending on where you go.
Sure.
It's like a whole different language at that point. Like it's much more than just decline. It's everything. And if you were to go there, I would take you to some place and you would catch on.
Okay.
Like
you'd understand kind of
completely different.
Okay.
You might not understand everything that they're saying.
Yeah.
But if you just go in there pretty open-minded, you could catch on.
So it's basically the people saying it are people that speak fluent Hawaiian or like a different language, but don't speak English?
No, they do speak. It's just at this point, it's more cultural.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so like if you grow up around a family that speaks like this all the time, it's like an accent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like an accent, but with words.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So like if you grow up and you're in Australia, you're gonna have that accent.
Yeah.
And if you grow up in a family where they speak pidgin, you typically grow up speaking like that. Okay. You know English.
Yeah.
But
just saying it like in a different way.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain.
Gotcha.
It's funny, definitely. Like if you were to go look it up after this,
sure,
and hear it, it's
absolutely,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because like I can kind of see where you're. Like I can see a few examples without actually fully experiencing it. Because like for me, like I always say I gotta. Like I don't say like got to.
Yeah, gotta.
You know, or like I say I gotcha. Like the cha, like not
exactly.
I got ya.
Yeah, it's like that.
You know, so like it's just like I merge these two words or like something like that.
Yeah.
Like yes sir, like yes sir. Like I mean, I guess that's kind of maybe on the lines of like.
No, that's. I think you're tracking.
Yeah.
You're on the right track.
Yeah, it is just like I just say these certain things that like you understand what I mean. You know, I'm just saying it in a way that like I would actually tell it. You know, so it's really cool. It is really cool. One final question for you, Rihanna.
Okay.
Who is Riana Loughlin?
What do you mean by that?
Just who is Riana Loughlin?
You want like a one-line phrase or
whatever you want to share?
I guess. Well, I guess I'll go into my profession then.
Yeah.
Well, I am really caring. So I want to work with kids, and I just want to help them to succeed intellectually, emotionally, socially. And so right now I am a behavior technician, and I work with kids that were diagnosed with autism or ADHD, different emotional disorders. So, I mean, it's challenging, but it's really fulfilling. And that's why I tell you when you're developing a new skill, like consistency is everything. Because consistency with these kids, it's everything. And you got to be, there's a certain level of, because what I do is I work with something what you call applied behavior analysis. Okay. So it's really scientific. It's really specific. but it's doing what I do. There's a very fine line and a very unique blend of, I don't know if that just contradicted what I just said, but it's like a very specific blend of science and, just like compassion. You know what I mean? Like, not everything has to be so technical.
Yeah.
Because you're working with children at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that kind of suits me because I've always been one that's into science. I mean, I like biology. I like things very specific, but I'm also very compassionate and really passionate about relationships and things like that.
Absolutely. So. Absolutely. I love that kind of direction you took because especially with that question, I think of it as like if I were telling somebody I'm a 20-year-old YouTuber who lives in Spokane, like basically like if I were explaining to somebody else, if somebody else were to read a script of what I was, adventurous, loving, like kind of like those things, So I love the direction that you took, because it talked about especially something that you want to do in the future and are currently working on.
Right.
And like basically literally like what has brought you to this point, we talked about it a few times with biology. And especially you mentioned it with like sharks. Like I just want to study maybe that behavior side.
I don't know what's so fascinating to me about it, really. But yeah, I like observing.
Absolutely.
I've always liked to observe people and their behaviors and what makes them them.
Yeah.
And, like why you're doing the psychology of it, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, this was just kind of the perfect field for me. And I never actually knew that this was a thing before. I was fortunate enough to have my uncle introduce me to the field.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
absolutely. Well, Rihanna, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. The Realest Podcast. Again, the banner is right there.
Right. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And by next episode, you're going to see Rihanna's photo be our first vertical photo.
Yes.
On the side. We're going to put it on the right side, I believe. And you're going to be our very first vertical. So you could slap that on. Compassionate, loving. First vertical photo on the Realest Podcast.
It's an accomplishment.
The banner right there. Yes. So yes, we're going to wrap up the episode here. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to buy the new merch, shop.spreadshirt.com/nationer, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Beyond that, remember to hit that subscribe button and like, and we'll see you all later. Remember to live life of live and life of love, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Peace.